right, everybody, welcome back to Life Unfiltered, the podcast. And today we are back on the subject of sex,
Shoo.
control, currency, and yeah, let's go there.
I like the topic, you know what I'm saying? So let's just recap real quick. So last episode we talked about sex, intimacy, the lack of conversation, lack of education, you know what I mean? We touched on some mental health points, you know what I mean? We talked about what that looked like in our black community, you know what I mean? And how so much trauma, so much um, vulnerability, the lack of intimacy, what intimacy really is. Like we really, took a deep dive into that to really understand sex and why our parents and our pastors, et cetera, were really timid on having that conversation and kind of how it became more of a sneak thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean,
Yeah, they didn't want to have those
than
conversations.
us really being educated on our bodies and knowing what emotion and what feelings we were going to come into. But now let's talk to the mature. You know what I mean? So that episode, that was good. That was good. But now let's dive into part two of this thing. You know what I'm saying? What does it mean for the mature group? You know what I mean? Is sex used as power? Is sex used as currency? Is sex used as, you know what I'm saying, control? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Sex as power is, I got it, you want it. What you gonna do for it? Sex as currency is I give you this, I expect that. You know what I mean? And sex as control is once I got you, I got you. And I'm gonna do whatever it is to keep you. You know what I mean? So what do you think? Is sex being used as power? Control, currency?
I think sex is powerful in itself. It can, like you said last episode, you can say a lot with sex without saying it. So I think sex is definitely a powerful mechanism. It should not be shared freely or with just anybody, but the day in the life we live, that's kind of what we see every day.
I got homegirls that live with dudes and pay them in sex. And I think that's straight up prostitution. I wouldn't necessarily say homegirls, but people I know.
Well, you got a point there. Like some men do, some men, but what is the standard? What's the standard for yourself as a man? Are you willing to allow a woman to live with you as long as she drop them draws when you want to
That's what I'm
and
saying.
cook a little bit? And maybe she can't cook. Maybe you just need her to hump. Maybe she just need to put the
I'm talking
clothes in the
about I
wash.
got people that I know right now that are not in relationships, you know what I'm saying? Like who are living with randoms, you know what I'm saying, who are screwing and booing so
Hmm.
that way they can have a place over their head. To me, that's sexist currency right there.
I know.
I mean, I wouldn't say that you on the upper side of the deal, but you in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, is that what I mean, even on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see, hop into my OnlyFans, pay whatever the amount is, $3, $30, $50,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to see what it is that I'm shaking or I'm doing or whatever the situation is. Like we sexualize ourselves to come up. Like what do you think? Like what's going on in the culture? What is that doing for mental health?
Um, it's doing a lot to mental health. I think as women, I think we have come to this women have power. There's power in the P. And I mean, there's always been power in the P. I mean, my grandmother always told me, like, as long as you got it, you control the situation. And once you let it go, the cards is in the other person's hands. So you better make sure you give it to the
Grandma
right
has some
person.
wisdom.
So you better make sure you give it to the right person because while you got the power, you in control. But as soon as you give it up, that power is in his hands. So
Mm.
you better make sure you give it to the right person because if you do, he's always going to make sure that you're okay. He's going to take care of you. He's going
That's
to
a little
value
that's a
you.
little manipulative though. Don't you
He's
think
going to
like sex is being used for for manipulation as well? Manipulative tactics.
it is a game, but can you play the game right? Let's be for real.
See, that's where I get a
Everybody's
little
out
nervous because
there.
my thing is I don't always
Why you get
I don't
nervous?
cuz I don't always want I didn't always want to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like although I might have been in the game, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to voluntarily play the game.
What you mean by that?
Like I didn't want to I feel like I was always stupid and naive when I was younger. Like for real. Like I literally believed
It
that the
makes me
world
laugh
was
every
a
time you say that about yourself.
because I was like I believe I was really stupid and naive. Like I felt like the world was really a good place, and we was all going and trying to get to the same thing. So I just felt like I was just overly genuine, and I might not have reaped like those same benefits back.
Mm.
So it's like every person you bump into, like you said, like, and that's again kind of going back to what we talked about last episode, teaching my son. You better know that you might be in a game situation where you're being genuine and you really like this girl, and she like, Negro, you finna go to college and play NCAA, so I'm finna give you this thing so that way I can ride your coattail to the top.
I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? And it's
I
like,
feel like that's hard though. I will say for men and women, but mostly for men, because there's a lot of women who genuinely don't have a real interest in men outside of what they can do for them and what they can provide for them.
mm,
They play this facade of, I'm gonna do everything you want me to do. I'm gonna honey baby sweetie you. I'm gonna rub you right. I'm gonna touch you right. I'm gonna put this thing on you, and baby, you're gonna eventually you're gonna love me and take care of me.
I remember in the church, they literally had like church groupies. You have some groupies in the church who only specifically go for preachers. You have some that specifically
I've
wants the
seen that.
band.
That was the most baffling thing when we reconnected, and I like would see you would like point it out, like you see her over there, and she here for him, and that one over there, they there for. I was like, you're kidding me.
I was serious
Like
because you
that's
had some
crazy.
that was they would come to church and they know you already know like they for the band. She is not interested in nobody in a robe in here. She wants the organist, the drummer, the such and such, such and such. You know what I mean? Like, and it was manipulative. And before you know it, like you be them accidentally walked into a situation where you're like, you've been preying on me like the whole time. You know what I mean? Like,
Nasty work
and you're using what you got,
to
and
get what you want.
but I might be in a vulnerable place, and now you know what I'm saying, like
Entangled.
we're entangled and entwined, and I'm trying to get free. I'm for
That
real.
is crazy. It's true, but but no disrespect to anyone who holds a title in the church. No disrespect. But I always tell you, to me, like pastors are like rappers. Like it comes with the same thing.
That's
Like
crazy.
it's the truth. And may the best 304 win.
So what you so what you say about struggle love? You think that exists?
Oh, absolutely.
So you feel
Yeah.
like some people just stand together just because
I know
you got
for
something I
I
need
know
and
for
I'm
a
gonna give you what you want.
fact I was in a relationship because this person was poor and they didn't want to go back to their mama house. And when we split, they went right back to their mama house. I swear to you, it's absolutely the true thing. It's out there. Thank God for Jesus, But yeah, absolutely, that's
Yeah,
just
that's wild.
yeah.
That's wild. Struggle love is like another mental concept that I think is crazy because when we're talking about like sex, it's like neither, and see, it just goes back to what we were talking about last episode. And kind of diving a little bit deeper mentally on this one because it's like neither of us are really interested in each other,
hmm
but we both
We're
just have a
hold
need in this moment.
we're holding on to something that's literally can be replaced with the next person. Like, why are we still here? What are we doing?
And it's like we're in bondage. And that's why I
Now,
think you have to be careful with who again you intertwine with because if you intertwine with the wrong person, you'll end up in like a bondage state and not even realize that you're in it.
not even realize it. Absolutely
You know what I
correct.
mean? Like,
So I have a question. Like, how do you help people get out of something like that? Like, have you ever been in that type of situation where you realize, like, dang, like we only have sex or we only have this? Like, what are we doing together? We in two
absolutely.
different places and two different lanes, want two different things. I don't even like your breath in the morning. What am I doing here?
Exactly. And yes, I have. To the point where I'm like, um, I gotta wake up. Because you know why? I'm gonna say this. Sometimes you could be with a person for so long that you become comfortable with the person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I know that you're a piece of crap. And I'm gonna say it nicely on this broadcast.
Right.
I know you're a piece of crap. But I'm so comfortable with the type of piece of crap you are that I'm gonna keep screwing it. I'm gonna keep eating from it. I'm gonna keep chilling.
Dealing with it.
I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
but I know there's no growth here.
Right.
And that's a dangerous place to be in.
It is.
Like you should just make up your mind and say, you know what, bro, you know what, sis? Sexually, yeah, like we a 10 out of 10, we a 8 out of 10, we're a 9 out of 10, but when it comes to everything else that I know I deserve,
Fail, fail, fail.
you giving me 0 out of 10s, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's time for us to go ahead and call it a wraps. But I think that you have to be comfortable enough to be by yourself. And I think that when you're sexing a person
That
for
is
so
the hard
long,
part.
you lose comfortability to be alone. Literally, when I ended a relationship, I literally had to get comfortable being by myself again. It was the craziest
I
thing
remember
ever.
you told me that.
It was the craziest thing ever because I knew, as scandalous as I felt like she was, I knew the level of scandalous you'll go to. So it was like, okay, as long as, she cook, we screw, we're good. Like every now and again we might have to go down a dark path, but other than that, that's kind of like the height of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when I looked back at it, the whole relationship was a sexual relationship. It wasn't even there was no edification there.
Mm.
Like I couldn't talk to you about my fears. I couldn't talk to you about my problems. I couldn't pray with you. I couldn't ask you your opinion educationally. I couldn't talk to you about saving stocks, bonds, property, expansion, nothing of that course.
Right.
I can only give to you more than, you know what I'm saying, what at the time I even had to give. Because you got to understand, even with sex, there comes a point in time where you might not even have that to give.
That's very true. That's very true. And see, for me, like you said, you had to get comfortable being by yourself after a relationship. For me, it's like I wanted to be by myself again. Like I couldn't wait to be able to go to a concert alone, not have to worry about how the next person felt, was doing, if I was walking too fast, if me going to buy this soda was gonna aggravate. Like I was
Yeah,
just wanted like to be like, yes, it's just you. Like you can walk in here and be fine. Like you got your keys, girl,
yeah.
and your stuff on, and you're just going to enjoy yourself. Like I wanted that. So like for you, like how you say, like I had to get comfortable with being with just me again. Like
hmm
I couldn't wait to get to me again. Like yes, like it's just me. Like
So let's flip it a little bit. So we've kind of talked about the negative connotation, you know what I'm saying, dealing with sex psychologically and
trauma
all of that,
bonding.
trauma bonding and all of that fun stuff. But now let's talk about the comfortability of sex, because sex is actually healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you do it right. So should we own our sexuality?
Yes.
Sigmund Freud, you mentioned him, I believe it was in the last episode. Sigmund Freud, very, very, very famous philosopher slash psychologist. He comes in and he is the first psychologists to merge sex, healthy sex, with humanity. He comes in and he says, you said it earlier. He says that as a civilization we are trying to tame that which is natural sexually. And if we just allow that person to express themselves sexually, they'll be essentially a healthier person. That was generally his philosophy
Mm-hmm.
that he explained, and he used it, explaining the ego, the super ego, and the ID, or the ID, the one of those three. No, no, don't get me. He's one of my favorite philosophers, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think in terms of owning your sexuality? Like you as a female, you're not only you know, my wife, but essentially I'm a pastor, you're a first lady, you're the should you be out there in your nice bathing suit, showing off your curves, your body, your sexuality, your owning your sexiness?
Should I? I feel like I should. Do I? I do, and I do. I want to say like I appreciate you allowing me to be me. You don't really, you know, make me change myself too much. And when we first started dating, I will say I was very much so more open with the way that I dressed.
Hmm.
I was a crop top queen. Like, it was kind of like, oh, we going to church? Oh, okay. You like, babe, can you please, like, you can't go in there with your belly out and your belly ring out. Like, can you come?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
okay.
Time and place.
Let me fix that. Time and place. That was something I had to kind of honestly like relearn because when we connected, like I wasn't in church every Sunday and
Hmm.
Wednesday. I did have relationship with spirit in spirit. I was spiritual still. I knew the Lord, but I was not, it was a lot of things I had to tame, time and place.
Hmm.
But when we went on vacation, you absolutely allowed me to be me. You never told me what to wear, how to wear it, where to put it on, where to take it off. Like I was able to be myself. And I feel like a lot of women are not able to do that because they're always wondering if this is okay.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's really unfair because if this is a person that you chose, you should have chose them and accepted them in their totality.
I just feel like, and I'm glad you said that. I think that when it comes to sex, when it comes to culture, I am saved. I'm sanctified. I love the Lord, but at the same time, I'm a realist.
Mm-hmm.
And reality is that when I'm in church, I don't want to see your body all out. I want you to be modest.
Mm-hmm.
I do, right? Because there's sexiness in modesty,
Modesty, it
right?
absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
so I could look over at you and be like, man, she is all covered up from her neck all the way down to her ankles, but she cute. You know what I'm saying?
I remember one time, quick story, we had just got married. We were in service, and before church, I realized that I had ordered a dress and the split was up the back. I don't know if you remember this. I said, babe, I came to your office. I said, does this split look too bad? I said, look when I turn around. I looked at the mirror and I turned around and you said, okay, Cash, I don't know if that's going. I said, you know what? Because you just questioned it, let me just run home and go change real quick. I found a dress where it didn't have no split. Because usually I would sew my splits in the back up. But this dress, I just, ordered it, pressed it, was ready to go. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. I can't wait to wear it. But I'm like, once I turned it around and I looked, I said, oh no, I
Hmm.
can't do this, babe. I said, oh no, this not gonna work, and I know how to dress in church. I just had not been in church for a while.
Right.
I came back and into church. I walked in church and I remember you were flat foot preaching, and you saw me walk in the church, and you just was like, men all pause, like,
Oh, I do remember that
baby,
service.
what,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like,
I remember that service.
and it just took your breath away, and like for me, I was like, I'm so sexy to my husband right now and I am like fully covered. Like that meant something to me.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's stuff like that that makes lets me know like you don't have to be naked for a man to see you
Absolutely
and
not.
value you and think that you are beautiful.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And now that you said that, I do remember that because I think I made an announcement in the church. I was like, I'm sorry, y'all. I just completely got distracted. You know what I mean? Like, because you used to have to walk in the front, ultimately
Mhm.
to your seat. So I do remember that. But um, no, it's the truth. And like I was saying, in church, modesty is appealing. You know what I mean? Or even, at it's not just in church, but if I take you around my family, my grandmothers, my aunts, that's not a time where I want to see you in a thong bathing suit if
Mhm.
we at the family pool party. Like, no, put on something that is appropriate to be around my cousins, my aunt, my father, my mother, my grandmother, so on and so forth. But if we're on a vacation, husband and wife, and we are adoring and loving each other, I don't want you to come out looking like a nun. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to. I don't want you to wear the bathing suit that you wore in front of Nana. I want to see you in something that is going to make me and everybody that's in this resort mouth drop. Now, again, that doesn't mean that I want you to come out naked. But what I'm saying is I would like to see the curves, the skin, the body like Megan. Show it. This is we in Jamaica. This is a great
No.
time to put it on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sex is appealing. So I think that it is, in terms of sex culture, for those that are mature, for those that are in relationships that are married, I think that it is amazing when you can own your sexuality.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Even me, like as a man, like I look in the mirror and I'm like, I look good today. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
shirt off, body is doing whatever it do, and I'm like, you can't tell me I don't look good. Don't let me get a haircut on Saturday or be on the beach somewhere. I'm taking a picture with no shirt on and I ain't got no muscles. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
You better
going
not
for it
play. Let me
because
get in there.
I'm owning my sexuality. Like I'm understanding my body, what I bring to the table, and so on and so forth. But again, in around your family or in church scene or whatever, like you're not gonna see me coming there with no muscle shirt on and be ready to preach the gospel. It's not gonna happen. I'm coming, modest, robe, baggy. I don't want you to see no prints, no hips, no nothing. You know what I mean? I never forget. Promise to God, never forget. I had I think I this is 2018. I'm pastoring Recharge Church. And at the time I had a small storefront, but boy, we churched that storefront like it was 1998.
Mhm.
But I had a small storefront. It was 4 rows in the church, like crazy. Like I remember like the bathroom was across from my office. That's how small this church was. And if I was in the pulpit, sometimes they would have to push the first row back because they would be so close. And I had this mother, I'm not gonna call her name, she's gone on to be with the Lord now, but I had this mother at the time, and this mother was like, I had preached my heart out and I had on some black slacks and like a button up shirt. It was like one of them relaxed third Sundays. And I knew I killed her. Like the power of God came in. It was just amazing. Mother waited until church was over. I did the benediction. And she pulled my hand. She said, Pastor, come here. Walked over there. I said, yes, mother. She said, you preached your face off today. The power of God was all in this church. I said, thank you so much, mother. She said, but I just want to let you know that mother's not dead. I said,
Okay.
what you mean? Yeah, I was confused. She said, Pastor, she said, you losing a little weight and in that area, mother's not dead. And it messed me up. I felt so disgusted. Like I looked down, I was like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, maybe I got these was a little too tailored. You know what I mean? But
Baby.
it was crazy because in the essence of me owning my sexuality and feeling comfortable with myself, I also had to learn like the perceptions of someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I know that I look good, I smell good, I'm dressed appropriately. I at that point, because I was up there doing all that jumping and bouncing and running and all that other stuff, I had to understand the difference between a pulpit outfit and I'm coming to visit outfit. You know what I mean?
Hello.
And it was crazy. So like owning your sexuality, you know what I mean? I think that, it's important, especially for the culture. You know what I mean? You want a man, there should be some things that he has to wonder about.
Mm-hmm. And like if you're on vacation, you want to post those pictures, great. But like every post should not be your booty sitting on the counter, your booty sticking out, your butt hanging out your skirt. A man is gonna, okay. Well, what else does she do? What else does
Mm-hmm.
she have to give? Like, I don't see you post or do much else. And if you do have something going on at this point, I'm not even interested in it because every time I see your page on my timeline, that's all I see.
And,
But
and
then
and
women
that's
can
very
get
important.
mad because that's how men come at them.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, beautiful, how you doing?
You still got that birthmark on your left booty cheek?
Hello.
Is that a birthmark or a scab? Why are you asking? Because you showed it to me. You posted it. So now let me ask you this. Let's go deeper. Sex. From a marital standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, how do you know when you're present in that moment? Or like, are you just doing it to do it?
I feel like I'm always present.
How you know?
Um, well, I'm mentally en- engaged, emotionally engaged. Like I'm there for, yeah, a good time, but also for the pleasure of my partner.
Okay. I asked that because like I think that, going back to the conversation of intimacy,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? And we're talking about sex, we're talking about culture. A lot of people you're catching these feelings and they're not mutual, but realistically you're not even in the moment.
mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Break it down.
Like, okay, when I say you're not in the moment, you can you could work out and not even be paying attention to the fact that you're working out because it's muscle memory. You know what I mean? So like I got my headphones on, like I might be having a full conversation with somebody else while I'm in the gym and I'm just lifting, boom, 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 boom.
Because if
But
you
I'm
listen too
not,
much, it becomes normative.
yeah, but I'm not present in the moment. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I see my muscle building. Let me pay attention to what I'm working. Let me see if I can flex
Mm-hmm.
this way and work the upper part. You know what I mean? I'm just doing what I got to do to get out of there. You know what I mean? And I think that when we're talking sex, when we're talking vulnerability, when we're talking intimacy, you know what I'm saying, in coupled relationships,
Mm-hmm.
you want to make certain that you're being intimate with your partner and not just doing it to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely.
are you present in the moment? You know what I mean? And like I notice, you know what I mean? Like when we're, engaging and I'm present in that moment, like the simplest thing, and I'm there. I'm like, oh my God, this is just so amazing. I just feel her kissing me. Like I'm just paying attention. You know what I mean? But when you're not present in the moment and like you're thinking about all kind of crazy stuff and stuff like that, that's not fair to your partner.
I agree. I agree. And I think like when you do know someone and you're with your partner, I think you can kind of tell like, you know, something may have been a little off. Like, I feel like one time we may have had a conversation afterwards, like, "Are you good? You okay?" Like, it didn't seem like you was there when we was, like. And I think like if you know your person, you're gonna know, you're gonna feel it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think like I think we have a very, healthy sex relationship in our marriage, which is like great because people say like it gets boring, start to die, you gotta spice it up a bit. I think we do a really good job of
I think
trying.
we too young for it to die, child. We
Hello.
just yeah, we
But
still
I
in
mean,
our
that's
early
what I hear.
30s.
I have friends, who are married and who have been, who's just like, it's just, like,
That's not
do
good.
something. It's not, but it's like, it makes me like really appreciate you
But I
and
think that's the
appreciate
role
what we
of
have
I think that's the
because,
role of therapy though, because people like I have some colleagues and even some mentors now who are well versed in sex education. And like the more I pursue my PhD and the more I study it,
yeah,
and of course I want to be a relationships expert, so I read into all of this stuff. And I'm like noticing like, wow, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to become too familiar, you know what I mean? Like in certain situations to the extent where, like I just said, you're not present in the moment. You know what I mean? What is anxiety? Anxiety is worrying so much about the future that you're not present in the moment. You know what I mean? So literally you could be engaging with your partner sexually and you're like, ah, did I clock out? I think I clocked out. Oh, I got them bills tomorrow. Okay, wait, hold up. Yeah, baby, kiss me right there. I gotta dang, did I cut my light off? You know what I mean? And before you
yeah,
know it, it literally becomes rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? And then again, that is if sex is communication, then that is a miscommunication psychologically to your partner,
wow,
which then causes them to feel undervalued, which causes them to say, am I enough? Which causes them to say, what can I do more? And realistically, it's like, well, no, baby, you're doing everything that you should. I wasn't there.
right.
You know what I mean? Like my brain is all over the
But I
place.
feel like people can't hear something like that and like understand that their partner's off. They
Mm,
are automatically go internal to say, what did I do? What's wrong with me? What's going on with me that they feel that they're not here?
mm-hmm,
Why would you not be?
mm-hmm.
So what would you say to a person who may be dealing with that?
I think that you need to learn who you are.
Hmm.
And that's, it's very important, especially in sex culture, to really understand who am I psychologically. What do I bring to the table besides, you know, bend over? You understand what I'm saying? Like, am I really attempting in sex to learn that person's body? You know what I mean? To where it's more than just an encounter. I want to learn. Okay, well, what happens if I touch here? What happens if I kiss here? What happens if I just look deeply into that person's eyes? What messages am I sending? You know what I mean? And that's honestly like again, the more I study psychology, the more I learn. And like that, these are like little things that I'm learning. You know what I mean? Like, can I communicate with you sexually without being sexually engaged? Does that make sense? Okay, let's go deeper. Can I look at you in such a way that we've just had a sexual connection? And I'm not looking at you angry. I'm not looking at you, um, inquisitively, but rather I'm looking at you and I'm communicating such a sexual message to you
Yeah, absolutely.
that you've received it.
Hmm.
That's intimacy. Like we are connected at the mind to where you could be across the room and I'm across the room. Kind of like the story you just told in church. And I look and I'm like, whew, all right, that thing brought me out to heavens. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, church, amen. You know what I mean? Bible says, "He that findeth the wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor with the Lord." So it's like, here I am, and I'm watching my favor walk in, and we've communicated something that the rest of y'all didn't get
Hmm.
because y'all ain't intimate with us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that it's important for our culture really to understand intimacy. It's more than just sex.
It is more than
And
just
when you really experience intimacy, you won't just want to have sex.
that.
You're going to be like, oh, okay, that's, yeah, all them times that was what it was. But with this one person, it's different.
It's different. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Do you have to unlearn trauma though, like from previous situations?
Absolutely. Yes. If
What
you
what
have
what does
if you
that
have
look like?
any. It's understanding if you have unhealthy relationship with sex, regardless of what that may look like or how that may come out. You know, I've talked to people, I have friends who, partners, maybe male or female, want to explore a certain way and mind their partner's mind tells them that's wrong, that's dirty, that's not okay. But y'all ain't even married. So it's wrong, dirty, wrong anyways. So if this person is your person and you're okay with being unwedded but being in a long-term relationship with them, why can't you explore in that way with your partner?
Mm-hmm.
You do have to unlearn unhealthy relationships with sex or certain types of sex or whatever that looks like for you. You know what I mean? You might be with a person who, let me not say that. You might be with a you might be with a person who, likes certain things. Like maybe they have a little nasty tick and they want you to do that because that's what pleases them, makes them happy. Do you say, I'm not doing that, that's nasty? Do you shame them for that and they're being vulnerable and open with you? Or do you say, let me I'm gonna try to, but explain to me what that is for you. Like, why do you like that?
I think what you just said was powerful, especially like in more progressive relationships, because I think that, and it's kind of crazy, like when we sit here and talk about these things, because we're you and I, we're in a privileged place. And when I say privileged, I mean like we're from the old school, but we're also like relevant in the new culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, just now when you were talking, you're like, you're not married, it's wrong anyway. But in more progressive relationships, like, can we really say that their style, and again, this is me talking psychologically, I can't say that your style of relationship is wrong. Now, if you ask me religiously, what do I think, then I can tell you that. But
Right.
I can't tell you that your style and your choice of how you progress in your life is wrong from a
So
clinical
so
standpoint.
let me rephrase that. Your mind might say, I'm not doing that because that's nasty, that's wrong.
Correct.
But generally speaking, like you can also say, like, I want to be married, but well, you didn't wait to have sex to be married. So don't demonize this person because they have a sexual preference.
Mm,
That's what I meant by that. So not to say, like, if you want to be in a long-term 10, 20-year relationship unmarried and y'all make it happen and work,
right,
that
right,
works for
right.
you. That's your thing.
I think that when we're looking at unlearning trauma, I think that that's important in order to give your partner a fair chance.
Correct. I agree.
You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think it's important there because like I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people and they're like, I ain't doing that because, the last time, and I'm like, oh, now, yes, you do live and you learn, but if you bring that situation and that
So something
experience
new.
into something new,
Hmm.
you're not giving that person a fair chance to really exemplify who you are. And then also, you know what I'm saying? You are mentally
Projecting.
not even in the relationship.
And now you're projecting
You'll
what
never enjoy
happened
what I'm bringing to the
here.
table sexually because you're still comparing me to the last three dudes or the last dude, or whatever or the last woman, whatever the situation is. You know what I mean? So I feel like, it's important to take that time, you know what I mean, to unlearn certain tactics and certain behaviors.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Certain
Absolutely.
experiences, come to grips with that stuff so you're not toxic in your next relationship.
So, question, what would you say to the people who are stuck on their past relationship or stuck on that sexual partner that they feel like they have bonded with and they can't get out of that? Like, nobody can do me like him, nobody can do it like her. Like, but like the relationship is not going nowhere outside of sex.
You need a break. And I think that people are afraid to take a break. You need a moment. You need a discussion. And I think that that's where psychological therapy is really important. You know what I'm saying? Because it's time for us to talk out what is this for real?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I think that you mentioned the word relationship again. It's not a relationship because if it was a relationship, then we would have pursued a relationship. I think
Mm.
that we need to discuss what emotion is this that's kind of surfing in between here
Mm.
that's powered and fueled by sex. I think of, when I said that, I thought of like a car. You know
Mm.
what I mean? You could put bomb 91 fuel, $4 5 a gallon in your car. But if it has no oil, it's not gonna go anywhere.
Come on.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that those are like the components of a relationship as well. Like you can have the sex, the booty, the body, the lips, the touch, the grind, the feel, the all of the components. But guess what? If I have zero interest in you, all you are is some gas. I mean, I can't progress it any further. So what I would say to that person is it's time for you to pursue some therapy. It's time for you to stop. Get you a mentor. Talk this out and let's really explore what is this? Are you in sexual trauma? You know what I mean? Like, have you been doing this for so long that you have eight, nine, ten
Experience.
different partners that's coming with you, and you don't realize that you are representing each of them,
Mm.
trying to engage with me? You know what I mean? So you're not even talking to me like you. You're talking to me like three partners ago. You know what I mean? Are you in sexual deviance? Are you just screwing just because you know that you can? What is that? You know what I mean? You could be sexually deviant where you're like, yo, I'm with her, I'm with her, I'm with her, I'm with her, and I'm with her. I have no emotional connection to any of them, and I'm just doing it because I can. Or I'm with him, I'm with him, I'm with him, I'm with him, I'm with him. I have no emotion. I'm just trying to see what I can get.
But what if it's not more than one person? What if it's just like, I just want this person. I like the way they put it down, and if it ain't them, then everybody else can just. I'm not even giving you a chance because I don't even want to see if.
hmm Then again, you need to go and talk that out with somebody because you're closed off and you're creating possibly some level of vulnerability or some level of trauma with a person that's clearly not interested in pursuing you any further beyond what you're doing right now.
So is that okay? Is that like can that be normal? Can that be you know acceptable?
So, you know what's so crazy about today's relationships? There's so much that has become normal that, again, religiously is not normal, or, to traditional couples is not
Or
normal.
scientifically, or
Scientifically, it may not, it may be like a little skewed, if you will, but um, so I can't say if it's normal, but what I will say is if that's what you want, then you have to get to a place of maturity where we both understand that that's what it is. That's when our emotions and our feelings are aligned and we're moving down the same path.
so are you've now built relationship with this person,
I built
even
an
if it's
understanding.
pure physical
Sure.
sex.
I mean, we can have a sexual relationship, but I built an understanding with you to where you understand that this is not going any further than what it is right now or whatever that situation is. Think about it like this. If we go into our favorite soul food spot
Mm-hmm.
and we eat, you get what I'm saying? Like, what are they offering at that restaurant? They're offering food. They're not offering a movie. They're offering food.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want dinner and a movie, then I'm in the wrong place. I need to go to the theater that's a full service theater. But then I also got to accept the fact that at that full service theater, they might not have their soul food. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm in the restaurant, then I can only get what's being offered. And I'm only going to know once I have a conversation. And that conversation is between me and that menu. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing in a sexual relationship or with sex or in a regular relationship. I need to be able to effectively communicate what I want to this person
Mm-hmm.
and be okay if that person doesn't want the same thing.
Mm. So do you feel like when women try to use sex as a tool, or basically like, well, you did all this to me during sex, so Negro, you must love me.
hmm
Like you feel like that is you're trying to use the situation or the sexual relationship, like, I don't know, like against that man, like to say that, because like we had like a candid conversation with you and one of your buddies, and I was asking questions like, well, why do men do X, Y, and Z when in sex if they don't really want the woman? Like, what does that mean? And you like, well, it doesn't have nothing to do with me, a man wanting a relationship. It has to do with I'm a man. I got an ego, and every single time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Men are competitive, man. Oh, you talking about the action. Yeah, I remember that conversation. Men are competitive. You know what I'm saying? So I might be trying to outdo myself from the last time. That doesn't mean that like my emotions are growing with you. I'm just in competition with me.
But why, for a woman, does that equate into intimacy, into care, concern, and
I think that the women are misreading the situation. That's what I'm saying. Like,
mm,
I feel like you're misreading it. You know what I
misreading?
mean? Just because I'm playing basketball, bro, like, and I'm killing it on this team, don't mean I like these four other dudes. Maybe we just meshed well on that game. That doesn't mean that we should be going up against the Lakers tomorrow because I won at 24-hour fitness.
Or we
Like
gonna go
that's
out to eat afterwards?
or yeah, like y'all, hey man, we played such a good game, bro. 24, like what's up? Y'all want to go to Korean barbecue? Like, bro, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just we were just good on the team together. And I think that it's kind of crazy to compare that to sex, but I think that that's the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like when we're looking at sex, when we're looking at power, control, manipulation, like we were talking about, I think that once again, you in your mind are you're looking at this power that you have, this control that you have, and you're thinking to yourself, because I laid it down, I can bring this man into me. He's gonna love me. And the man is saying, this was a physical connection. So I think it is really, really, really important to mental health. I think it's important to growth. You know what I mean? To everything, to be able to know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, don't have ill intent for what it is that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Oh, I got him. Oh, I got him hooked. I got him hooked. Oh, I got her hooked. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my piece right there. I know what to, you get what I'm saying? Like at that point, I think that
She
now
gonna do
you're
what I say
using,
when I say. She gonna do what I say when I say, and that's it.
and that's what it is. And I think at that point, you're using sex as a tool. And then I think that if you use sex as a tool, then mentally you're going to wound somebody.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So what happens when you don't even realize that's happening, and then when you're there already, you're like, "Whoa!
I
I didn't
think
was
that you,
expecting when I told you no that you were gonna stop responding to me, or you were gonna
yeah,
get nasty with me, or it was gonna turn into this or that."
I
Like,
accept the fact that they turned into that and I'm good. I remember, you know what's crazy is I think that we're living in a generation now where if men stop being so hypersexual, women, I'm not going to say women, I'm going to say some women would lose their power. I was talking to one of your homegirls one time, and like I remember, like I forgot what I posted on Instagram, but she was like, "All men want sex," and I was like, "Bert, not all of us. I mean, I'm good. You know, not even talking about like if I was married or not married to you. I'm just saying like I've never been the type of dude to just pop out like this what I want right now and what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like I could literally talk to you at Starbucks and you be in the sexiest outfit and I would get up, take my strawberry acai and go right to the house. Like I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that if men if you ever bump into a man who is successful, who knows who he is, or a woman who is successful, who knows who she is, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and they're not concerned with that beautiful body you got,
mm-hmm,
or she's not concerned with them nice teeth, it's like you'll quickly find out, do you have anything else to offer?
mm-hmm.
And I think that at that point in time, if we stop being so hypersexual, we snatch the power right out of people's hands.
Mm. I like that, but I think women like to cover it up, but I think women are also hypersexual as well.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I can honestly say that. I think so.
100%. I think it's the stigma though. Like women don't want to be classified as a hoe.
Oh, absolutely not.
So it's
But I
like,
think
I really want it, but
right.
I'm gonna play with you for 3 more weeks so that way I can get out of the whole phase.
You have to. That's the game.
That and see, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, who feels like engaging in this game, yo?
You're already playing it when you first had the physical attraction and you decided to pursue that person.
That's using sex as power. That's power and control.
But
The name of the
sex is
episode.
power. Sex is power for a woman and for a man.
So do you feel like anybody's being genuine when it comes to sex?
Absolutely.
How are
But
you genuine and playing a game? Like either I'm gaming you or I'm being genuine. Like I
well,
can't.
you're genuine because yes, you're gonna know like I'm sexually attracted to you. You're gonna see it in my eyes, in the way that I move, the way I engage you, the way that I touch your knee, the way that I hold the door, the way that I hold you when a man make sure you feel secure. Like that's all this. That's a sexual game already without us touching on each other's privates. You see what I'm saying? Like you're
Mhm.
gonna know somebody's engaged, but you also have to, like you said, get to know that person. You gotta know me outside of the physical. We always talk about
Okay.
it. The first attraction is always physical. It's not because you have a nice voice. It's not because I like what you do. It's always physical first. Unless you clocking somebody on social media. So you're like, okay, I know you're successful. I know you an 8-figure dude, and I'm finna come get you, baby, because I need that on my team.
Hmm.
There are some people that move that way too, men and women. However, everything all is always started off physical. You see something, you want it, you like it, you figure out how to get it.
How do you snatch the power out of sex?
Mm. Know your sexuality and control it.
So you saying like I should know when I'm getting to that level and be able to control myself.
Yes. Can I say something?
Please.
I have a girlfriend who literally told me before a date, she was like, if you have to, you should masturbate so you don't think about sex before this. It's been a
That's
long time.
insane.
It's been a long time.
I wish this was live. Like, are y'all out there jacking off before y'all go on dates?
It's been a long time. You don't want to over sexualize yourself or this person because you really, really like them. If you get it out, you'll be good. And you can actually engage with this person and not over sexualize the situation. The take the power out of the situation. Most people, when you're hypersexual,
That's
it's usually because
crazy.
there's a need there or you don't have it. So if you
What?
get through that first, you're able to engage with somebody on a different level that's not constantly thinking about, I wonder what it feel like, I wonder what it look like, I wonder, you know what I mean? Like your brain kind of goes there.
Fellas,
Women and men too.
clearly these women are feeling y'all, right? You just heard it right here on this podcast. They feeling y'all. The reason why y'all are not finishing the night the way that y'all thought y'all was is because she finished her night before you paid for the meal. Manipulation.
It's a game. You have to play it right. Most men will lose interest between the first and third date if a woman gives it up. But between that time.
Now, I will agree to that. If you give it up too fast, I'm like, and I had no interest in you, I'm like, whoa.
So how do you know when you've had a genuine interest in a woman?
When I care about what she's talking about.
Mm. So if you can carry on a
I'm a, cause
conversation.
I'm a intellect. I'm an intellectual individual.
Mm-hmm.
So if like how I'm looking at you in your eyes right now, I've not sexualized you, necessarily, right? Like I sexualize you every day, but you get what I'm saying. Like I'm not like sitting here sexualizing you. So like I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm actively responding.
Yeah.
That's when I know that I have an interest in learning something beyond your physicality.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and so again, I would like if a woman was to ask me, I would say just randomly throw a question at the man that you're on a date with. And if he can answer that question, that means that he's genuinely listening to what you're saying. You know what I mean? So if you guys are sitting up talking about, the nuances of the various cuts of sushi, you should be like, what's your favorite sushi piece?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like while he's sitting there looking you up and down and licking his lips and smiling and all extra clothes and breathing on you and stuff, see what he can say. Because if he doesn't say anything, then guess what? I wasn't paying attention to nothing you were saying, babe. I'm giving you the works right now. You know what I mean? But I do think that in our culture, we have to yank the power out of sex. I say that timidly though, if you see me, because yes, sex is powerful and it should maintain its power, and God intended it for that. But I also think that it controls people too much.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the comments on Instagram. Like, somebody posts their butt on Instagram, and it's just heart eyes, beautiful. Oh my God, you're gorgeous. And then you got the other ones that's in the DM. Like, you're too hypersexual. Like, you can't even look at the body as art because in your brain, it's like you're a dog with the tongue out. You know what I'm saying? Just ready to rock and roll. You know what I mean? Same thing. Like when it comes to men with those whatever women like bodies and teeth. They're like, oh my God, oh girl, you chocolate and he's 6 foot and oh Jesus, it's too sexual. You know what I mean? And I think that that's where our culture is getting stuck.
Mm. So I have a question. Relationship, sex. What do you say? This might be a conversation for a whole nother podcast. What do you say to those people who want to explore sex in their relationships with like outside people?
Mm. So once again, I got multiple answers, right? If you're telling me from a religious place, it's wrong, right? Paul told us in the New Testament that you are to have one woman, one man, be wedded, right? So if you're asking the pastor and me that question, I'm going to tell you that.
But the
But now, if
Bible
you
also has shows you where men had multiple concubines.
in
And
the before the establishment of the church, so now we're talking Old Testament, right? So when Paul came and established the New Testament, then he gave an order for what was to be the church, right?
mm-hmm.
Preparing for the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. So that completely is different. Now, if you would ask me as a psychologist, then I would tell you if that is the level of relationship that you desire, and again, you can be honest within that style of relationship to the extent that everybody has, in psychology, we call it informed consent, right? You know what we're going to sit here and talk about in this session.
Mm-hmm.
And you know at what point in time I have to report what we talked about. If you hit barrier A or B, I have to report these two things. Other than that, I am a vote for you, baby. Long as we all have informed consent, then that's your style of relationship. Explore and do your thing. That's from a clinical standpoint because I can't tell you that your nature of living is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Do your thing. But I do think that it's important that, again, if that's what you're going to do, make certain that everybody is understanding of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And don't be trying to use it as, again, power and control. You know what I mean?
So
So
do you feel like that's where relationships kind of get wavery when it gets used as power and control? Like you telling this person that and you telling this person that, but nobody's actually had a conversation together to know like where
1000%.
everybody's at.
1000%. Sex, power, currency, control. You know what I mean? At that point, yes, I'm using that as a mechanism of control or a mechanism of more so like probably manipulation, which then is going to constitute to controlling the other person. So yes, I think that, you know, in order to snatch the power out of sex, I think that we have to mentally be thinking about something completely different and have the knowledge to be able to understand that this is not the sole reason that I'm in communication with you. You know what I mean? But going back to what you said, I do think that communication is important. You know what I mean? So within our culture, we have to be willing to communicate
Correct.
and see what it is that we all want. You know what I mean? So it's important. So if you were to give some advice, somebody right now is out there and they like, yo, I'm being overcome by the power of sex, or I'm using sex as currency, or I'm one of those people that y'all talking to that is just under the control aspect of sex. What would you tell them?
Be vulnerable with yourself. Talk to somebody and figure out why you're so hypersexual. Why is sex your leading thing? Why is your body your leading thing? How can you not sit and have a normal conversation and connect with a person without feeling like you need to give them your P or your D? It's
Yeah,
more to that than just, I like sex. We all like sex. It's natural.
yeah,
It's a human response to puberty, growing as a human being, as a person, as a being. Animals, you know what I mean? It's a natural occurrence. But
form of
why
expression.
why is it why is that why does that have to be a topic of conversation for you? Why do you have to pull that out? Like, we can't just sit here and talk. You have to touch me. You have to sexualize me. You have to say something dirty or, slide something slick in there. Like, what is it about you that makes you feel like you can't be you or you won't be accepted or without that piece? Does that make
I
sense?
like that. If I was to add to that, you know what I mean, because you basically said what I would have said. I would just say, you know what I mean. You really have to understand that sex is and can translate into a behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to be very, very careful that it does not become your leading behavior. You know what I mean? Going back to what Sigmund Freud said, famous philosopher and psychologist, you want to make sure that you're not acting out of your subconscious. You know what I'm saying? To the extent where, everything about you is representative of the physical. You have no other aspects of you than
Mm-hmm.
that. You know what I mean? And then that will and could potentially pour into, certain mental health conditions, certain narcissistic ways, and different things like that. You know what I mean? So definitely, for those of y'all that's out there watching us right now, we didn't have a powerful conversation today. We're talking about sex, we're talking about love, we're talking about culture, we're talking about intimacy, the lack thereof, what's needed, and ultimately taking your power back. So look, like, share, subscribe, download right now. Send this to somebody. Comment. What do you think? Are you a victim? Like, are you in the topic that we're talking about? How are you going to get your power back? You know what I mean? Are you using sex as a currency, or are you controlling, or are you under somebody's control? And what does that look like? Talk to us in the comments, and we guarantee we gonna respond. All right. But until next time, y'all know, hey, we love y'all. Peace.